Hi guys, my name is Courtney and today I'll be talking about renewable energy, specifically here in the state of Hawaii. I apologize, I'm not really tech savvy. I'm not sure how to put like a PowerPoint and a video in one. So I'm just going to go ahead and talk about like what it is here in Hawaii and the things we have planned out and let you know some of the controversies we have. So in 2015, the governor of the state of Hawaii, Governor David Ige, signed into law House Bill 623. Now, this law states that by the year 2045, all of Hawaii's electricity is to be produced entirely of renewable energy. So we will become a state that is 100% dependent on renewable energy sources. Now, some of these sources include wind power, solar power, which many homeowners here in Hawaii have solar panels, geothermal energy, and other clean energy sources, which he actually signed into law two other House bills, and I apologize, I don't remember the names of it, that allowed us to experiment with different renewable energy sources like hydrogen power. Currently, the state of Hawaii has the highest standard in the nation for renewable energy, aimed to be at 40% by the year 2030. And this is actually kind of easy for us because Hawaii Business Magazine, according to them, Hawaii basically has the ingredients to basically transition from using electricity to use depending on renewable energy sources. And this is because we're an island chain in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. We don't heavily rely on like fossil fuels. We don't heavily rely on greenhouse gases. We're away from like everything. And that's good for us. And renewable energy is actually becoming cheaper to use. We are depending on our natural resources like the wind and the sun. Um, it also uses less energy, so a lot of homeowners that I know, they say that their electricity bill is actually lower with solar panels, even hot water panels. Innovation for renewable energy is actually booming. So we are actually in the process of constructing another wind farm here on my island, the island of Oahu. And Hawaii is actually working on a lot of clean transportation. So our bus system here actually has a handful of hybrid buses, and it's so awesome to see. And I personally actually live down the road from a car dealership that has the first hydrogen fueling station in the state. Surfco Pacific Toyota does produce a hydrogen car, and Surfco does down the road from my house actually has a hydrogen fueling station for that car, which is actually cheaper than gas. Now, the Hawaiian Electric Company, or HECO, which produces all electricity for the state of Hawaii, um, talks about how wind energy, produces our electricity because of the constructing of wind farms and the wind farms that are already constructed. So basically, what HECO states is that wind produces no toxic emissions, and the emissions that are trapped, or the trapping of the emissions, do not contribute to global climate change in any way. Now, with that being said, there are right now three, actually more wind farms located in our state. So we actually have wind farms actually on my island, Oahu. It's up in the North Shore, with one more being constructed in Kahuku, known as the Kahuku Wind Farm. There is one on the island of Maui. It is located in Ma'alea. It is called the Kahavea Wind Farm. And there are two on the Hawaii Island, or the Big Island. They are the Hawi Wind Farm and the Pakini Nui Wind Farm. So, and according to the EPA also, like renewable energy just generates so much for us. It doesn't produce any form of greenhouse gases. We're reducing our dependency on fossil fuels, and the economic development and the jobs that are created are just so awesome. Right now, with the construction of the Kahuku Wind Farm, you can get truck drivers, construction workers, tree cutters, because they have to clear the land to install the wind turbines. And right now they're transporting basically the turbines and the towers for the turbines from one side of the island to another. So, officers, they need more police officers to help escort that. And they also need the truck drivers to do so. Sorry. However, with the construction of these wind farms and renewable energy, there's always going to be a controversy. And with that being said, there are already controversies, especially with the native Hawaiian species that live here in Hawaii. Now, being that we live on an island, in the middle of the Pacific, we do have species that are specifically native to us. A lot of the concerns come from environmentalists and especially on the island of Maui at the Kahavea wind farm, there have been a rise in deaths in native Hawaiian hoary bats. And that's alarming because they are already endangered species, and to we don't want them to go extinct. Another wind farm that is projected to be built is up in Makakilo. It is on my island of Oahu, and right now it's named the Palehua Wind Project. Palehua is kind of like a ridge or a peak on Makakilo on the side of a mountain. There is a forest there with an elepaio sanctuary. Elepaio is a native Hawaiian bird. And what environmentalists are concerned about is the deaths of these elepaio and also pueo, which are native Hawaiian owls. Now, the Palehua forest would also have to be cut down in order for the wind farm to be built. And that Palehua forest is home to the elepaio and the pueo bird, so we don't want to take away their home. So that's one of the other concerns that we have. Now, in 2009, there was a study done in the US that looked at how wind farms, specifically the turbines, contributed to bird deaths. So, in that year, there was approximately 20,000 bird deaths because of the wind turbines. And when they calculated it, it was about zero point 0.3 to zero point 0.4 deaths per gigawatt hours. To me, 20,000 bird deaths just in the US alone is kind of alarming because in the state of Hawaii, we are such a small island, and especially with our native species, it's very concerning because many of our native birds and many of our native species are already extinct, and the majority of them are endangered and almost extinct. Now, the Kahuku wind farm, which is to be built on the north shore of our island, is raising a lot of concern because it is supposed to be built less than half a mile away from an elementary school. And that's really concerning because they're supposed to be 500-foot towers with turbines located near children, and Kahuku is home to a lot of agricultural lands. They produce papaya, watermelon, vegetables, marine, you name it all. Kahuku produces a lot of it because this is where a lot of our farms are. Now, according to the NCBI, wind farms and wind turbines can cause stress, anxiety, sleep disturbance, headaches, and these are due to the noise, the infrasound, possible dirty electricity, and ground currents because of the wind farms and wind turbines. I personally have friends who live on that side of the island that where there are already the wind farms up in the North Shore. And my boss actually had told me that, she's been living out there for so long that there are actually these red lights that shine from the propeller of the turbines into people's homes, and it causes a lot of stress and anxiety and like health problems for them. Um, and a lot of times doctors may not take it seriously because the effects of the wind turbines are not necessarily known. So, and also according to the Office of Energy Efficiency and Renewable Energy, wind turbines can also cause aesthetic pollution. So basically, because we're an island, we don't have much land, it can be seen like very prominently. And we're Hawaii. Everybody wants to see the beautiful green and the beaches and everything, not necessarily stare at wind turbines. They actually do also cause a lot of noise, according to the Office of Energy Efficiency and Renewable Energy. I'm sorry. So basically, that kind of correlates with like sleep disturbance, the noise, and it can cause headaches, and that's the infrasound. And a lot of people need their sleep because our traffic over here is bad. And if you have to commute to work the next morning, and you live and go to school, especially Kahuku Elementary School being less than half a mile away, how are the children supposed to learn properly? And another huge concern that I have already addressed that the Office of Energy Efficiency and Renewable Energy states that wind farms can cause is damage to wildlife. And here in Hawaii, that is to our native species. Thank you all for listening to the policy and the law we have here in the state of Hawaii with our renewable energy. Thank you.